Hello everyone, and welcome back to Utawarerumono, Prelude to the Fallen. We have founded the new nation of Tuskur, successfully overtaken the old nation, out with the old, in with the new. Hopefully we'll do a better job than the last emperor, but I have the feeling that's not going to be that hard to do considering I was going to say our hair is better, but that's debatable. But we're not as obsessed with it. Since the last episode, I've gone in and done a couple of the training battles, gotten some folks up a little bit higher in level, as you can see. Was trying to get Benui and Kuro up a little bit higher, but they're pretty close. If nothing else, definitely distributed some more BP, so they're going to be better in the upcoming fights. Also, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with those mysterious figures from that other nation that were talking about the rise of our nation. So, I guess we'll find out soon enough. Let's get into it. You're going back home after all, huh?
ああ、今まで畑をほったらかしにしてたからな。
Couldn't you all just stay here?
あんちゃん。
I get lonely.
いや、もうあんちゃんなんて呼べないな。
Yeah, you can. Actually, I would prefer that you do.
ありがとうよ。できることならあんちゃんと一緒にいたいんだが、俺らはあの村で生まれ、あの村で育ってきた。
I was born in that village. I'll die in that village.
そして死ぬ時も。
Oh, I didn't actually expect that to be where that was going. You've got a point. If I had a choice, I'd like to do that too.
あんちゃん。なーに、いつでもいいから遊びに来いって。
Well, thanks.
ああ、待ってるでな。
今度、酒持って遊びに来る。
The man has his priorities. Wait, the boy does too? Thank you, everyone.
んじゃ、元気でな。
Wait, so does that mean that I'm not going to have Tero in future fights? Because I spent so much time getting him to be the perfect barricade-destroying machine.
達者でな。
Okay, and the same goes to each of you.
エルル、これを。これってエルルにあげる。
What is it?
でもこれ素朴姉さんが大切にしてた。
It's a mystery.
いいのよ。これからはエルルが大切にしてくれれば。素朴姉さん。アルル、おかしなもの食べてお腹を壊さないようにね。ちゃんとお姉ちゃんと白オロの言うことを聞くんだよ。それじゃあ二人とも。
Everyone's going back. We'll miss all of you.
はい。
And Aruruu is gonna miss you most of all. Moving on.
よいしょっと。
Oh wow, that's a big upgrade from the room she was living in before.
これはここに置いてと。これ。それは向こうの棚にお願いね。
This is their new room. They really worked hard to straighten it up. Huh? Could this tool here be...
お願いして運んでもらったんです。こっちの方が使い慣れてますし。それにおばあちゃんのだから。
Oh, it must be the mortar and pestle. Ah, I see. Can I help with anything?
いえ、もう終わりですし。そうだ、すぐにお茶にしますから、ちょっと待っててください。
And by anything I mean manual labor, because I'm pretty sure I can't make medicine or identify plants to save my life, or anybody else's. Oh, you don't have to go to all that trouble on my account.
本当にすぐですから。
She says with a smile. Tuskur, you really raised these girls well. Oh. Oh, Oh, that was a startled. Oh, don't startle me like that. What can I do for you, Aruruu?
行こう。
Huh? Aruruu?
ほら、アルル、どこ行く気？お父さんと遊び行く。
What are we playing?
何言ってるの？まだやることがいっぱいあるんだから。
Still?
あ、いえ、その。
Then let me help too.
はい。
These strong, independent women don't need no Aulo, Hakuowlo, but I'm good for lifting things. Also, I have a very hard head.
失礼します。オンカミヤム会より使者を名乗る方が参られまして、ハクオロ王にお目通り願いたいとのことです。
I'm sorry, you want to run that name by me again?
いかがいたしましょうか。
I just told you. Oh, jeez. Onkamiyamukai? I have no idea if I said that right. What is that exactly? That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
もう来たのですか。さすが調停者を自負するだけあって素早い。
That's good, I guess. A mediator?
いかがなさいますか。
I'm not qualified to have an opinion since I don't know anything about them. What is an Onkamiyamukai, and why are they mediators?
ああ、そうでしたね。オンカミヤム会はオンカミヤ竜族の滑る始まりの国とも言われる最古の国。
Okay.
いえ、国というよりウィツァルネミテアの総本山と言った方がいいでしょう。
A what now? Oh, jeez. Yutsu al Nemetia? Dead. What?
お、
Did I ask a stupid question and say it in a stupid way?
いえ、
I'm pretty sure I did.
ウィツァルネミテアとは我らがオンカミの名であり、その教えそのものを指したりもします。
Okay, how is he saying that? Yutsul Namentia is... Am I saying that? I have no idea if I'm saying that right. If somebody in the comments tell me if I'm just an idiot.
ウィツァルネミテアは私たちの生活に根強く浸透しており、
Yutsul Namentia. Okay. I think I have it. I've heard it 3 times now. If I don't have it by now, I am an idiot.
アック、コポロ、ハシェク、ハハラ、あらゆる儀がウィツァルネミテアの名の下で行われます。つまり私たちは生まれながらにウィツァルネミテアの信徒と言ってもいいでしょう。話を戻します。その総本山であるオンカミヤム会は国や部族間の仲介や災いを防ぐことを自らの役目としています。そのために各地を見張り、必要とあらば干渉してくるのです。今回の来訪もここの情勢と新しい往路を見定めるためのものでしょう。
So that's why they're called mediators.
以前はオンカミヤム会の干渉を拒絶していました。
Considering the last leadership of this nation, I'm not surprised.
そのため社を建てることもオンカミヤム会からヨモルを招くこともできませんでしたが、
I see. So it seems like it would be good for me just to go ahead and meet them. Well then, please let our guests through. I'll see them right away.
はい。
お茶を持ってきました。
Sorry, a visitor just arrived. I'll drink it later. Unless you want to make tea for them as well, which would be appreciated. We brought all the retainers back.
ハクオロご出座
Oh, wow, I'm flattered. Okay.
お初にお目にかかります。ハクオロ王。
What is happening with all of these noises?
この度、オルヤンクルから施設の命を授かり参りました。ウルトリーと申します。
Ulthury? I swear, it takes me forever to get these names down.
どうかお見知りおきのほど。よろ
This truly is a sight to behold. A beautiful woman, accompanied by a single attendant, sweeps her bright golden hair aside as she bows elegantly. Every single movement she makes is perfectly refined. It feels like I'm looking at a work of art.
同じくムントにございます。
And then there's this guy. I would like to express my gratitude for the long distance you have had to travel to meet me.
進化のベナウィーにございます。ウルトリー王女のお越し、強越至極にございます。
Princess? Can we do away with all of the stiff formal stuff? Please, relax and speak freely.
お気遣い痛み入ります。
I just don't know protocol. What's going on? Benowie made it sound like they'd sent an inspection team, not a princess. And on top of that, to send her to such a tiny nation on the outskirts. I glance over to Benowie, who closes his eyes, as if responding with a, "You're on your own. Thanks." So, Princess, what is the nature of your visit to our country?
友好
Okay, yeah, I'm on board with that. Friendship?
はい。私どもは恩国との友好を望んでいます。そのためにあなた方を理解したく参りました。そして私どもを理解していただくことを望んでおります。
Friendship? Huh. I don't know what her true intentions are, but I get the feeling they aren't that simplistic. Whatever they may be, this woman's presence is exactly what you would expect from a princess.
失礼します。ソチャですが、よろしければ。
ソチャでございますか？
え？
どうやら我々は歓迎されていないようですな。残念です。
Look, we don't know where everything is, we just got here. Though he quietly mutters that, he doesn't really seem disappointed.
では、私どもはこれにて失礼させていただきます。
おいしい。ソチャなどとご謙遜を。
これはなかなかのお手前。
Oh, I see. I see how it is. Okay.
思い違いをしておりました。このような場でへりくだるとはお人が悪い。
Sure, yeah, that's exactly what we were going for.
かわいい女官さんですね。
What is she waiting for?
にょ
She's waiting for us to stop being so dense. She's going to be waiting a very long time.
女官
Oh, she's not a lady of the court. She's a member of my family.
まあ、申し訳ありません。私、てっきり
Not by blood.
皇后様でいらっしゃいましたか。
Not yet.
そんな
No, I'm not married. She is like a younger sister to me. Oh no. Oh. Or Eruruu. I just say that every episode, because every episode it's true. Well then, if it suits you, please stay here a while. We are a newly founded rural nation in the middle of nowhere, but we'll try our best to treat you to our hospitality.
はい、かたじけのうございます。ですが、
謹んでご好意をお受けいたします。しばらく。
姫様。
We were just planning to introduce ourselves and then leave. Well then, we will prepare rooms for you right away. Please make yourselves at home.
何から何まで感謝いたします。
I've got to get used to her cadence. I keep cutting her off. Of course. Eruruu?
はい。
There's something I must finish today. Would you please show them around in my stead?
でも私 作法とかそんなの全然わからなくて、さっきだってそれで。
Neither do I. Benoi, I request that you provide protection.
は、
Just completely ignore her concerns.
はい。
Benoi's got your back. If we really didn't care, we would have had Kuro do the protection duty. He doesn't know anything about court protocol either. That's my assumption. I don't know for sure. Well, I guess I'd better resolve the remaining affairs of state. Huh? Oh, Aruruu must be snoring in here. Does that also mean that Mukuru is in here too? Where's that sound coming from? I hear a strange yet funny sound coming from somewhere. Somewhere... Oh, you're not Aruruu. You're a bird girl. Are you that mysterious voice that we heard in the darkness in the last episode? I suspect you are. A girl is curled up on my bed. Wait a minute, who is she? She has bright silver hair and an air of innocence to her appearance. She may even qualify as pretty. Maybe. Why is that our assessment? Why do we always immediately go to gauging the attractiveness of the woman that we meet? It's just like, well, there's this guy, he's really brash. He's kind of rude to us. Oh hey, there's this woman. She looks kind of nice. For a dense guy, we have weird priorities. Well, the true determining factor of whether she's pretty is whether that's real drool dribbling down her face. Alright. She looks to be about a year or two older than Aruruu. And she has jet black wings, which could be described as obsidian. Wait, wings? That means, without a doubt, she must be from the Onkamiyamukai tribe. Or maybe she just had a Red Bull, I don't know. But why is she in my room? Who's that sleeping in my bed? She's sleeping so soundly. I feel bad, but I feel like I should wake her up and ask her. Where are we tap-tapping? Okay, better. I try tapping her on the shoulder. It's not very effective. She's not waking up. Where's my poke flute? Hey, wake up. Wakey wakey.
もうちょっとお姉様もうちょっとだけ
I'm not your sister, girl. Okay. Sorry. I'm not your sister. Unless your sister has a very deep voice. I mean, I don't know. Ah, she curled up into a ball. Hello?
あともうちょっと
No, it's time to get up. The girl's eyes meet mine, and then she smacks me. Good morning.
おはよう あれ
Why are you in my bedroom?
お姉様なんで男の人になってるの
Okay. Well, you see, I've been through some things. As she says that, the girl rubs her sleepy eyes. I'm not your sister, but...
うーん
The instant she realizes something's amiss, the girl recoils in shock to the corner of the room to escape my gaze. I instinctively shift my gaze to follow her, and then she does it again. Yep. This time she moves to the completely opposite side of the room. I shift my line of sight again.
もしかして見えてたりして
Yes? Why? Do you have invisibility powers? She's a strange girl. Why is she asking something so obvious? What? Okay. Oh, it's a spell. What is this ringing in my ears? You feel better because you cast a spell?
ついてきたのお姉様にバレたら大変なことになっちゃうよ
Oh, I see. It must be some sort of memory erasing thing. Older sister?
まだ見えてるんですか
Haha, my density makes me immune. Why are you asking something that has such an obvious answer? Wait a minute. By older sister, does that mean that you're... Oh, I still don't have her name down. Ulthury's baby sister? I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this. I will get it.
違うよ神はお姉様の妹とかそうなんじゃ
Camyu? See, her name is easy. Your name is Camyu? The question mark. So, anyway, what's a princess's younger sister like you doing in my room? Other than sleeping, that is. Shouldn't you be with your older sister?
それはその
Camyu? You said you'd be in big trouble if she finds out you're here. Does that mean that you snuck all the way over here?
そんなことないよちゃんと一緒に来たんだよ
I don't believe you. Well, that may be true.
そうだよ
So you really are... Why you make me keep saying her name? So you really are Ulthury's younger sister? I can't believe you snuck in here. The Imperial Palace is the most tightly guarded place in the country.
ちょっと影に潜り込んで金利
Yes. Huh?
ここもしかして金利なの
Yes, and I'm the Olo. This certainly is the Imperial Palace.
じゃあおじさまってここのオーロ様
Somehow. Uncle. Well, for the time being, that seems to be the case. She forces a laugh as she withdraws.
それじゃ
Just launches herself out the window. What was that all about? Huh? And for some reason, she's back. I don't know, a plant? What's what? She dashes back into my room, jumps into the wicker hamper in the back, and closes the lid from the inside. Oh, I wonder if it's Mokuru. Yep. Oh, that. Mokuru enters the room, sniffing for her scent. He eventually stops in front of the wicker hamper. Based off of my experience with cats and wicker things, that's not going to stop him. Mokuru smacks the hamper with his paw, which elicits a sound from the inside. Oh no, he thinks it's a game. It seems like Mokuru has mistaken the hamper for a squeaky toy. just have the mental image of him just careening through the palace with a bad case of the zoomies, just knocking the wicker hamper around like a toy mouse. It sounds like she bit her tongue at the very end. Oh. You okay? Camyu? I'm gonna keep saying it with a question mark until it goes away. Tumbles out of the hamper like a worn-out cloth, battered from Mukuru's playful assault. That was our pet, Mukuru.
飼ってるって？お父さん。
As Aruruu enters the room, Mukuru rolls over on his side and fawns for Aruruu while making snorting sounds.
いいか。
Oh, he loves her. Aruruu strokes Mukuru as he growls affectionately.
Huh?
The girl watches them with her eyes wide open. Oh yeah, okay, so you give a straightforward introduction to her. She just goes running out, stranger danger. Huh?
Hakuowlo-san.
She just can't get a break. Huh? What is it, Eruruu?
それが、ウルトリー様が急な話があるとかで。
Okay, Ulthury. 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 I've said it 3 times. An urgent matter?
もし、お忙しいところ申し訳ありません。まさかとは思うのですが、そちらに銀色の髪をした女の子がお邪魔してはいないでしょうか。
Yes, how did you know?
先ほどここで感じるはずのないとてもよく知った波動を感じたものですから。
Oh no, she sensed her. Silver hair? She's going back inside the wicker hamper. And after Mukuru's tender menstruations, feathers are visible and sticking out from the loose weaving here and there. It almost looks like a flying hamper. Yeet!
失礼いたします。カーミュ、出てらっしゃい。カーミュ、どうしてあなたがここにいるのですか？
どうしてかな。
隠れてついてきたのですね。お留守番をしてなさいとあれほど言いましたのに。
だってお姉様ばっか外に出てずるい。
私はOnkamiyamukaiの使者として赴いているのですよ。遊びに来ているのではありません。
だってお姉様がいないとつまらないんだもん。
And when I travel, I end up in wicker baskets a lot and get played with by large cats.
カミュ、仕方のない子。
お姉様。
Hakuowlo様、大変見苦しいところをお見せしたこと、深くお詫びいたします。
I've seen worse.
妹がとんだご無礼を。ですが、どのような理由であれ、禁裏に忍び込むなど許されることではありません。そしてそれはすべて監督不行き届きであるこの私の責任です。 どのような処罰も私が負いますゆえ、どうかこの子には寛大なお心を。
ダメだよ、そんなの。
Is this really cause for punishment?
あの、
Don't worry, I understand. I understand your circumstances more or less. Please raise your head. I have no complaints for what happened. Can't this girl also be a welcomed guest?
カミュ、お礼を。
ありがとうございます。
オーロの寛大なお心に感謝いたします。ですが、このまま甘やかしては他のものに示しがつきません。
そんなことないよ。つくってば。疲れた。
Also, she did get kind of beat up by Mukuru, so I feel like it kind of balanced out, but eh.
ムント、遠慮はいりません。ここにいる間、この子をみっちりしごいてあげてください。
はい、そのように。さあ、姫様、参りましょう。
やだ、あんな退屈なの。お姉様。
それでは私たちはこれで。
Okay. To strike an example. That's the princess of the Onkamiyamukai for you. She has a way with her sister.
そうですね。
I mean, that's kind of how Eruruu is with Aruruu a lot of times, so yeah, it makes sense. Ooh, I have options. This one. I'm always afraid of missing scenes.
少しよろしいですか？
はい。どうぞ。でもこんなところに。
I'm looking for herbs.
失礼します。素敵な部屋ですね。
そうですか？
ええ、と。いい香り。ここはとても懐かしい香りがするのですね。もしエルルー様。
ウルトリー様が私に様だなんて、そんな恐れ多いです。
You can just call me Eruruu.
まあ、どうしてでしょう。
どうしてって、ウルトリー様と私なんかじゃ身分が違いすぎますし、
身分ですか？私が言うのもおこがましいことですが、ウィツァルネミティアのもとには人が定めた身分など無意味です。
Oh, cool.
ですから気になさらないでください。
でも
それにエルルー様のおっしゃる通りですと、エルルー様はハクオロ星上のウタル、いわば皇族です。ですから何の問題もありません。
でも
それでしたら私からはエルルーと呼び捨てでお呼びします。ですからエルルー様も私のことをウルトと呼んでください。
Can I call you that too? Or is that going too far?
それこそできません。
でしたらエルルー様でよろしいですか？
はい。
You had an out. Why didn't you take it?
失礼ですが、もしやエルルー様はトゥスクル様の。
おばあちゃんじゃなくて祖母を知ってるんですか？
一度でも医術を志した者にトゥスクル様を知らぬ者はおりません。
Wow.
薬の扱いが似てらしたので、もしかしたらと思ったのですが。そうですか、おばあ様なのですね。 お話は伺いました。とても残念です。
Apparently everybody liked Tuskur. I'm not surprised.
もう一度お会いしてご厚需承りたいと思っておりましたのですが。ごめんなさい。無神経なことを言ってしまいましたね。
いえ、もう平気ですから。いつまでも悲しんでたらおばあちゃんに叱られちゃいますし、それに
Ulthury gently reaches out and hugs Eruruu. Without saying a word, Ulthury simply embraces Eruruu and gently strokes her head. Eruruu looks perplexed at first, which gradually fades into acceptance. Then her face is engulfed by Ulthury's chest. Aww. I thought she had already gotten over her loss. That's not something you get over easily. But no, that's just what I wanted to think. There's no way she could have. I'm so stupid. Eruruu. But at least we're aware. Now, loss of a family member is hard. It takes a long time, and even then, you never really get over it. It just kind of gets easier with time. Anyway, on to something that hopefully has levity. Aw.
よいしょっと。こんにちは。じゃなくて正常。
I mean, I guess you can call me uncle if you want to. Ah, you must be the little sister. I heard you were confined to your room, but I guess they decided to let you out. The bird has escaped the cage.
もちろんだよ。
Oh, she actually did escape. They did not let her out.
本当に本当だよ。
Not only is she stammering, but she's also avoiding eye contact. She must have a really honest nature, because she is really bad at lying. I see. I felt bad for you, so I was going to tell the young Kuru I thought you'd been punished enough, but... Yeah, but I guess that's no longer necessary.
そんなことないんじゃないかな。ほら、この先何があるかわからないし。
You snuck out, didn't you?
だって朝からずっとお勉強ばっかりさせるんだよ。
What are you studying?
だからちょっとだけ外に出たくって。
Well, it's not like I don't understand how you feel. I also have someone who's doing the same thing to me. Benoi.
気のせいですか？
No.
スキアリ
Deflected.
ーやるな。
Even while mildly distracted, Benoi is impenetrable. Benoi's defenses are impenetrable.
やるなではありません。隙を狙っておいて叫ぶおバカがどこにいます？
Oboro.
やーい、怒られた。
クロ、あなたもです。良い機会です。二人ともそこに座りなさい。
Time for a lecture.
どうして俺が？
少し休養が。
聞いているのですか？良いですか？そもそも戦というものは
The fundamentals. Fundamentals. Should you really be sneaking out on your own? I mean, I know your chaperone wouldn't have just let you go without saying anything, but...
おとなしくしてもらってるからしばらくは大丈夫。
What did you do? He's just hog-tied inside of the wicker basket.
ころで
She stops talking and quickly starts looking in every direction.
あの子はいないの？
Which girl?
あの大きなのを連れた子。
Oh, I see. You want to be friends with her. Good luck. Oh, you mean Aruruu? Why? Did she do something?
うん。せっかくだからお友達になれたらなって思ったんだけど。
Oh. Well, in that case, I'd better help you. Let me teach you my secret method.
とっておきって？
A secret method is a secret method. What is our secret method?
これ何？
A honeycomb. Keep one of these on you, and its scent will attract her.
獣みたいな子なんだね。
I was about to say, yeah, just like a bear.
でもこれって本当に食べ物なの？なんか土の塊みたいでベタベタするよ。
You should try a bite. Look, it's sweet, and it's tasty.
中でなんか動いてる。
Don't worry about it, it's protein. Those are larvae. They make it even tastier.
これも一緒に食べるの？
I don't think you're supposed to, but it is what it is. Of course. The first step to becoming Aruruu's friend is eating honeycombs and larvae together. I don't know about that second part, but okay.
なんか嫌な友情だね。
Well, that little joke should have been enough to loosen you up. Oh,
今の本当に冗談なの？
I don't know. She should be coming soon.
でもこんなので本当に仲良くなれるの？
Absolutely. I hope.
何か言った？
No, I thought it. Nope.
あとね、大きなのって噛んだりしない？
Potentially, but not hard. You mean Mukuru?
うん。あんなのに噛まれたら死んじゃうよ。
Only if it clips an artery. You'll be fine. He's usually quite docile. Although he has killed and devoured many people on the battlefield, but we won't talk about that.
何か言った？
Nope, just thought it. Nope.
なんだかすごく不安だよ。
Here he comes. Here she comes. Well, good luck. You're gonna need it.
待って、一人にしちゃやだ。
You'll be fine.
行っちゃった。噛まれてどうしたらいいかわかんないよ。
Just give her the honeycomb and back away slowly. Shock.
これ食べる？蜂の巣。
Aha! Aruruu is hungrily circling that girl. Ah. And now Mukuru is getting into the act. Oh no. He's sniffing around Camyu's body. Looks like Camyu is enduring it. She's trembling, but she's managing to smile. Mukuru is sniffing the vicinity of Camyu's neck.
平常心、平常心、平常心。
I feel like trying to relax by repeating relax to yourself is probably not the most effective method. It seems like she's having fun.
食べる？
Aruruu timidly reaches out her hand. The instant she touches the honeycomb, she tries to snatch it and run.
あ、 緒に食べる。え？一緒に食べる。これを？うん。これを。でも、なんか動いて。
That's what we said.
平気。もしかして触っても大丈夫？
I mean, he's probably sniffed you enough at this point.
噛んだりしない？大丈夫。それじゃあ。
姫様！
He just comes hopping out.
いっけな、もう抜け出してきちゃったんだ。聞こう。
Aruruu jumps onto Mukuru's back and then pats his back invitingly behind her.
もしかして乗せてくれるの？うん。
Aw, they're friends, yay.
姫様！
早いなんとちょっと遊び行ってくるね。
姫様！
She is going to be in a lot of trouble later.
あの子ったら。
Huh? Were you watching this whole time?
はい。
What a girl. But I'm grateful.
いいえ、こちらの方こそ。あの子、お友達がいませんでしたから。
Aw, she should meet Yuzuha then too. None at all? Given her cheerfulness, you'd assume she'd have a lot. But as a princess, I guess not many people can get close.
ええ、はい。あんなにはしゃいで。いつも明るく振る舞ってましたけど、やっぱり寂しかったんでしょうね。あんな楽しそうな姿を見るのは本当に久しぶり。
As she says this, she gently gazes over in the direction her little sister is heading. Aw, that was nice. To the road!
お父さん。
Huh? They're together. They must already be close friends. Where are you two off to?
ゆずはちゃんとこ。
Oh, nice. I was just saying that you guys should meet her.
そうだ、おじさまも一緒に行こうよ。
Wait a minute. Are you calling me?
あるちゃんのお父さんだからおじさまでしょ。
I guess I can't argue with that logic. Well, uncle could be a term of endearment, but it can also be used to call someone old. Old. I'm officially an old man.
お父さんも一緒。
I'm just going to lie down here and die. As she says this, she starts tugging my arm. Sorry, I still have matters of state to attend to. I'll drop by later, so you two go on ahead.
本当？
Really, really? Yeah, I promise.
うん。それじゃあおじさま、絶対だよ。
Uncle.
おじさま。
Why do you keep saying it?
早く来てね。
Like I said, I'm not an uncle. Huh?
ごめんなさい。つい。
I mean, usually I do too. That's kind of how laughing works. Your little sister sure is lively.
はい。とっても元気で可愛い妹です。ムントなどはもう少しおしとやかにと言ってますが、あの年頃は元気なのが一番です。
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Enjoy youth while you're young. Oh god, that makes me sound even older. You're right. Aruruu normally suffers from extreme stranger anxiety, but she's completely opened up to her. Being around the same age might have something to do with it, but you can't discount her cheerfulness.
ここへ来て本当に良かったと思っています。
ハクオロさん。
Huh?
いえ、なんでもないんです。
I mean, you can tell me.
失礼します。
Huh? She gonna get jealous.
エルル、兄者を知らな。
There she goes.
あ、いや、なんでもないです。
Run, Oboro! Run for your life! He's dense, but he knows better.
あー、
Are you eating Yuzuha's food again?
あ、待ってアルちゃん、それ皮を剥かないと。やっぱりそれ皮を剥かないととっても渋いのに。
I hear cheerful voices.
ゆずはちゃん、どうかしたの？
I smell Hakuowlo. Looks like you're all having fun.
ハクオロ様。あ、おじさま。
Everybody spits in every episode now. What's wrong, Aruruu?
アルちゃんたらこれを皮のまま食べちゃったから。はい、ゆずはちゃん、皮むけたよ。ありがとうございます。友達になったんだからありがとうくらいでいいんだけど。そうだ、みんなであだ名で呼び合おうよ。
Yeah, you seem very fond of nicknames.
あだ名？ほら、その方が友達って感じがするでしょ。あだ名って何ですか？仲のいい友達同士でつける名前だよ、多分。例えばアルちゃんはアルちゃんだし、おじさまにあだ名をつけるとしたら、名前がハクオロだからハクハクとかオロオロとか。
Olo olo. You can leave me out of this. Haku haku is a bit...
ゆずはちゃんはゆずゆずはありきたりだし、ゆずそうだ、ゆずっちにしよう。ゆずっち？ゆずっちに決定。
I hope you like it, because apparently that you're stuck with it now.
もしかして嫌？嬉しいです。
あ、ここにいたんですか。
Yeah, is something wrong?
いえ、別にそうじゃ。どこに行ったのかなって思って。
Did you not see the space selection screen?
じゃあエルルー様のあだ名は？
何の話？
Nicknames.
みんなであだ名のお話をしていたの。エルルー様ならどんなあだ名になるのかな。
The music stopped. This is ominous.
エルルー姉様はエルンガー。
A type of Nuguisomakami said to reside in toilets. They give you enemas while you're on the potty. Oh my god. Okay. And there they go. Eruruu is chasing Aruruu around the room.
ゆずっち。
She's mumbling happily.
そうだ、お兄様にもあだ名。
Oh boy, what would his nickname be?
おぼろ、おぼろ、おぼおぼ。 ボロボロ。
I think you'd better stop right there. If Yuzuha called him that, I wouldn't put it past him to off himself. I don't know. He really loves Yuzuha, so he might be fine. Ooh, are we actually going into more story stuff now? I mean, that was good character stuff.
はい、どうぞ。
俺もだ。
こっちも頼みやす。
These days, mornings and evenings are almost like battlefields.
そらよった。いっただけ。
Whenever those two are around each other.
おい、そいつは俺のだぞ。
悪いな。早いもん勝ちだ。
返せ。
おっとさせるか。
この
やろめえ。
ああ、ここって変わってるね。
Seems about normal to me. Weird.
姫様、お口に物を入れたまま話してはなりません。
You're going to say that, but you're not going to say anything about the comment?
だってご飯をみんなで食べるんだもの。
Oh.
それに球児さんがいないし、みんなで同じお皿のおかずをつつくし、みんなでおしゃべりするし、おかずを取り合ったりしてるし。
もしかしてOnkamiyamukaiの皇居では違うの？
うん。ご飯の時にこんなに集まって食べないし、ご飯は包丁師さんが作って球児さんがお皿に取り分けるし。
Like I said earlier, we don't really do protocol.
あまりおしゃべりしたりすると叱られるし、おかずを取り合ったりするなんてなかったから。
そうなの？私そんなこと知らなかったから、てっきりこれでいいのかと思って。
We just eat like a family. Don't worry about it. Food tastes better when you eat it with everyone. Camyu, do you not like the way we do it?
美味しいし楽しいから大好きだよ。それに熱々のご飯がこんなに美味しいなんて知らなかった。
Eats birdseed.
熱々のって神ちゃんのとこのお食事は冷たいの？
最初は温かいんだけど、ご飯の前にお祈りして毒味の人が食べてみて、食べる頃には冷めちゃってるから。
Oh, jeez.
毒味？
当然でございます。姫様の身に万が一のことがあっては一大事ですからな。
And this is how we all die.
でもそう言ってここでも毒味をしようとするんだもん。
姫様、申し訳ありません、白五郎。決して白五郎を疑っているわけではなく、ただ心配で心配で。
And don't worry about it. Yes, please do not worry about it. It's not like I don't understand your concerns.
ムント、ここにいる間はこの国のしきたりに従いましょう。それが礼儀というものですよ。
I kind of feel like we're still establishing customs, but I'm not sure about that.
はあ。
それじゃおかわり。
はい。
After that, the children left to go play by the river and later in the forest. Then they read books in their room and slept in the same bed. It's just a short time, but they spent every day of it in utter joy. Until the Fire Nation attacked.
短い間でしたが、お世話になりました。
Are you returning home?
はい。ご迷惑でなければ、もう少しゆっくりしていたかったのですが。
Very subtle.
これ以上は皆にいらない心配をかけてしまいますから、そろそろ戻りませんと。
We'll all miss you.
はい、私も。
ウルトリー様、道中お気をつけて。
ゆずは様もお元気で。
はい。
よろしければこれ帰りの道中で召し上がってください。こんなのかえって失礼かと思ったんですけど、でもこんなことしかできなくて、お口に合わなかったら
ありがとうございます。大切に頂戴しますね。
はい。
アルちゃん、それじゃあまたね。
ほらアルル、
楽しかったよ。アルちゃんやゆずっちとお友達になれて本当に嬉しかった。一緒に本を読んで、一緒にお昼寝して、一緒にお風呂に入って、いろんなことして遊んで、また今度も遊びに来ていい？また来るね。絶対に来るから。
Aw. Aruruu.
白オロ王、今後も長き良きお付き合いをお願いできますか？
That's also what I would request. Both peace and friendship.
ウィツァルネミティアの祝福があらんことを。それではまた王路の息災をお祈りします。
Well, that was a nice visit.
また寂しくなっちゃいましたね。
That's right.
アルちゃん、元気出して。
Aw, that was really nice. That was a nice little interlude between the battles.
はい、そっちを向いて。
Inside, Eruruu is cutting Aruruu's hair. She wets Aruruu's hair and carefully combs through it before cutting it with scissors.
こら、危ないから動いちゃダメ。
You want to lose an ear?
すみません、すぐに終わりますから、ちょっとだけ待っててください。
Oh, I don't have anything urgent. Don't worry about me.
はい。
Aruruu closes her eyes serenely every time Eruruu combs through her hair. Seems like you do this often.
だってちっちゃな頃からやってましたから。知ってました？この子の髪って微妙に癖があるから、ちょっとしたコツがいるんですよ。はい、終わりっと。アルル、終わったよ。
She fell asleep.
アルル？
I knew it.
この子、また寝ちゃった。アルル、今寝ちゃったら夜に眠れなくなっちゃうわよ。
I don't think she cares. It must have been really relaxing. I'll get her. I pick Aruruu up and gently lay her down on her bed.
それじゃあ、今度は白オロさんの番ですね。
For the haircut or a nap? Huh?
髪の毛、結構伸びてますよ。
Looks the same to me as always. You think so? Now that she mentions it, I guess it has grown a little long. Well, it's not that long.
ダメですよ。白オロさんは身だしなみに気をつけなければいけないんですから。
That raises many questions about washing his face around the mask.
だからはい、座ってください。
All right.
白オロさんの髪ってサラサラなんですね。
Thanks, I condition. Really?
そうですよ。ほら、櫛がこんな素直に。
This tickles more than I thought it would. Not sure if it actually feels good, or if it just feels comforting. Nope, here I go again. Good night. Getting sleepy. I awaken several hours later in a daze. But with shorter hair. Who is it? You can come in.
失礼いたします。
Eruruu gives a deep bow and quietly walks over to me. Eruruu's been working hard on improving her manners lately. At first, she was... It's better than I was expecting, just slams the door open. What's cracking, bitches?
アルさん、そっちじゃなくて、一礼してからこっちに回って。
Oh, okay. Guro actually has better etiquette than I thought.
こっちから。
Compared to back then, she's made a stark improvement. However, it's cute to see when she occasionally gets flustered.
本日のご報告をいたします。社の建設が人員不足により完成の遅れが予想されるとのことで、人員補充の要請が来ております。そしてOnkamiyamukaiからですが、ヨモル様は今期中にお越しになられるとのことです。
I see. Then send them more workers. A new tribe immigrated here yesterday. Please arrange for them to work on it.
はい、その。
次に、お姉ちゃんが寝言で笑ってた不気味とのこと。
Aruruu has been here.
何これ。アルルー、またこんないたずらして。
Bye.
待ちなさい。ほら、待ちなさい。
では、これにて散会します。皆さん、本日も頑張ってください。
I like how nobody else bats an eye at that. It's just like, well, that's their relationship.
いやー、今朝も賑やかでありますな。
私などあれがないと一日が始まった気がしなくて。
いや、まったく。
Oh, my head. Do we have a headache? Huh?
おお、ありじゃか。
So, have you gotten used to things around here at all?
俺は俺だ。どこへ行っても変わりはしないさ。
Well, at least he's consistent. I can see that. But what about the others? Your companions joined the army, right? Do they feel constrained or anything?
あいつらがそんな繊細なものか。
If you say so. Since those twins are girls, I feel like I need to protect them moving forward. Oh, gee. Okay, I feel better now.
双子の女の子？誰だ、双子の女の子って。
Who? Dory and Gura, of course.
兄じゃ、えらい勘違いをしてないか。
I made that same mistake. Well, no, I only assumed one of them was a girl. Mistaken?
若様、そろそろ警護の時間です。
あ、いいところに来たな。
はい。
兄じゃ、こいつらは男だぞ。
What?
だから、男だ。
What? You're kidding, right?
俺は冗談でこんなこと言わないぞ。
Men?
はい、男ですけど。 お疑いでしたら確かめてみますか？
No, I'll take your word for it. Check.
はい。どうしてもとおっしゃるのでしたら脱ぎますけど。他の人は嫌ですけど、兄者様になら僕たち。
No. No. I believe you. Why did they start blushing? I mean, in fairness, one of them is always blushing.
そうですか。
Why do they seem disappointed? Alright, I'm just gonna keep that. Anyway, sorry for mistaking you for girls.
いえ、僕たち別に気にしてませんから。
さて、二人とも行くぞ。
はい。
また後でな、兄者。
Right. I really hope there's not going to be a next time.
それでは失礼します。
Okay. They're guys? Now I kind of need to check. Check what?
何を確かめたかったんですか？
Oh no. Oh, if those two are really... Eruruu, when did you get here?
ハクオロさん、男の子が好みなんですか？
I don't know. What?
大丈夫です。変わった趣味があっても私気にしませんから。
No, that's not what I meant.
気にしませんから。
I'm telling you, it's not like that.
男の人同士でも。男の人同士。
Oh, don't get mad at me over this. Oh, that's not the reaction I was expecting. We learned something new about Eruruu today.
男の人同士。
Eruruu?
私。
Do you need a minute?
そうだ。私お洗濯しないと。じゃあ。
She needs a minute. You've got it all wrong. But it was hilarious. To the boudoir. Am I drinking something? Ooh, tasty. I finished all of my governmental duties for today, so I can finally rest a bit. And drink a lot of tea.
お父さん。
Oop. Huh? I look up to catch a glimpse of Aruruu peeking from behind the door. She's fidgeting as if she's checking up on me. Hey, come on in. What are you doing here? I beckon her forward. She smiles at me, then leaps into my lap. Aw, cute. The force of her landing on me almost made me spill my drink. She rubs her cheeks against me, almost like she's trying to bury her face against my body. What can I do for you, spoiled child? I gently pat her on the head. She looks elated as she starts cooing. Aruruu's ears start fluttering as she happily wags her tail. Seeing her like this, I get an overwhelming urge to fool with her in some way. For example, tickling her ear with my fingers as it sways back and forth. Giggle. This is kind of fun.
すぐったい。
Oh, I'm sorry. Want me to stop?
もっと。
Huh?
お父さんの手大きくてあったかだからもっと。
I see. I keep stroking her head, gently, lovingly.
お父さん。
Daddy, huh? Yeah, that's right. This girl is my daughter. My darling little daughter. If only every day could be as peaceful as this. That thought suddenly crosses my mind. But that's not really the kind of wish that could ever be granted. That's just the feeling that I get. And if that is the case, then I'd better appreciate moments like this now more than ever. At least this moment in particular. Aw. That's so sweet. I really like how their relationship has developed. It's very nice. Also, I'm sure that sentiment was foreshadowing. 3 knocks there will be.
ハクオロ様、シケリペチムより使者を名乗る方が参りまして、お目通り願いたいとのことです。
Okay, let's see. Shikiri Peachum? I'm gonna have to hear that a few more times, but sure. Jeez, well, so much for that. An emissary from Shikiri Peachum? Just throwing me into the deep end. Speaking of Shikiri Peachum, if I remember correctly, that's a large country in the southwest. What could they want with a small backwater country like ours to pay tribute or become a vassal state?
まだ来られては困ります。
What's going on? It's noisy out there.
Okay, komusume!
Yep. Whoa! Men who look like mononofus barge in. Eruruu tries to stop them, but they push her aside.
ちょい待ちな。死者だかなんだか知らねえが、うちの姉さんを突き飛ばしたいい度胸じゃねえか。少しでも動いたらぶっすり行くぜ。
ほう。
But you better be carrying a pretty big sword if you're gonna back up that laugh.
この村娘が姫君か。さすがは辺境の国を笑わせてくれる。
Well, I know who we're going to be fighting next.
聞け！我らが天使たる二栄のお言葉である。これよりこの地は天使二栄が統括することとなった。
Yep, that's about what I expected.
天使二栄に従い絶対の忠誠を誓え。
How about no?
この命に背きとき天使の名をもって汝らを駆除してくれん。
なんだと？ふざけんじゃねえぞ。
A summons to surrender. Huh. And without any forewarning, they're greatly underestimating us.
ごたくはそれで終わりか。無断でここまで乗り込み、数々の暴言と振る舞い、まさか無事に出られると思ってはないだろうな。
威勢のいい子っぽよ。よかろう。やれるものならやってみるがいい。
They haven't even talked to me yet.
やれるものならな。
I just come in here boasting threats.
何？
Stand down, Oboro.
兄じゃ。
Please forgive my foolish friend's rash remarks. We hereby acknowledge receipt of the Emperor Niue's declaration.
Ho ho.
We are not so foolish as to defy Emperor Niue. If he decrees for us to follow him, then we shall abide by his words. However, given the suddenness of this request, we must discuss the details later. For today, please enjoy a feast. We will prepare it in your honor right away, should you accept our invitation.
分かっておるではないか。よかろう。案内いたぜ。
Hope you wrapped your poison, Checkers. Nah, that doesn't seem like his style.
見損なったぞ、兄じゃ。あそこまでされてなぜ？
そうしてわざわざシケリペチムに攻め込む口実を与えるつもりですか。
Eruruu, did they hurt you?
はい。
You can heal everyone but yourself, so you can be honest. I'm sorry.
いえ。
Chinkino, are you there?
お呼びでございますか。はい。
Oh yeah, he's on our side now. Please give me all of the information you have on Shikiri Pichim.
シケリペチム、南方に位置する大国でありますです。はい。そして統治するのはシケリペチムの王路ニウェ。もともとは狩猟部族で知られるヒタウンタ族の長で地と武を兼ね備えた王路として知られておりますです。はい。わずか1代で無数に散らばっていた部族を一つに統括し、その後自ら天使を名乗り全土統一を目論む野心家であります。
Sounds like a really classy guy. And how do they compare in terms of power against our country? 10 to 1.
国土はここの3倍、兵力は10倍といったところでしょうか。はい。
I was just spitballing, but okay. 10 times?
さらに詳しいことをお望みでありましたら別料金となりますが、いかがいたします？
Please, go ahead.
毎度ご利用ありがとうございますです。はい。
Boy, I hope he never turns on us. Obey them, huh?
樹立して間もない。まだ基盤の安定していないこの時を狙ってきたのでしょう。
Probably. An unconditional decree to surrender. To not even use military force, they must be underestimating us.
現状の戦力差からすれば当然と言えるかもしれません。
ふざけるな。そんなものは戦ってみなければわからないだろう。
No, even without a fight, the difference in our military power is obvious.
兄者まで。
As long as our opponent calls himself an Olo, there's no doubt we'll be attacked if we refuse this request.
まさか本気で降伏するつもりなのか？
I didn't say that. If that would resolve the situation peacefully, it would be fine, but...
兄者。
However, things aren't that simple. For now, we'll stall them as long as we can. In the meantime, we must come up with a suitable plan. So, what should we do?
白オロを恐るるに値せず、我らに平服するのも時間の問題でありましょう。
Ah, so that's you.
たわけが。
Well, you're more intimidating than the guy we overtook last time.
まったくでありますな。
無能どもめ。
け
それにしても尻尾を見せぬか。なかなか面白い男のようだ。
It's an obligation that every bad guy in this game has a weird laugh, isn't it?
そやつ、飼いならせぬな。全軍に伝えよ。これより出陣する。
Welp.
飼いならせぬ犬は必要ない。ならばせいぜいわしを楽しませてもらおうか。
Okay. You sound like a cat hacking something up. Well, considering that it seems we are about to get into a war, yet again, this is probably a good place to stop this episode. Also, this might be a good opportunity for me to take a little bit more time to grind up my levels because I have no idea how strong of an enemy we're going to be facing. This was a nice kind of interlude episode. We got introduced to two unknown forces. One that was cool, and one that sucks. Sounds about right. The joys of leadership. I couldn't do it. I can barely run a channel. There were definitely some really nice moments, and I liked getting to know a few of the new characters, and I really enjoyed that moment where Aruruu and Hakuowlo were having a little father-daughter time. That was nice. But I'm sure we'll be going back into fights soon enough, since apparently this new force is determined to invade. But at least we should have the full troops. I wonder if that means that we'll get Eruruu back for these fights, considering it threatens the entire nation. Maybe. I hope so, because I leveled him up a lot. Also, I'm really hoping that maybe we'll get some new people from the other nation. I'm sorry that I keep screwing up these names. I'll get it eventually. Probably by the end of the game. Anyway, Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. For now, I am one half of the Bridge Boys, signing off.